Let's go!
You are now watching 14A Sports on 15MOFE.com.
Welcome to the 14A Sports Radio Show. I'd like to welcome everybody here on this beautiful 1st of May that we got going on out here.
Mayday, yes.
As always, make sure you check us out, 14asports.com, as you see right here on the beautiful T-shirt. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to listen to us on your cell phone, check us out, 15mofe.com. Download the app on the cell phone. So right now, I'd like to introduce everybody that we always have here on the show. To the left is the one-line king, Richie K.
I'm here, thank you.
You are welcome. And the guy who didn't come to the show with any beers today. Everybody say what's up to Irish Fern.
We might have to change that.
Gonna have to change
The liquor store's not too far.
I'm strongly internally debating with myself. And the beer side is winning.
It will always.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it usually does.
We got a lot to get to here today in the sports world, so to come unprepared like that, it's just not like you, you know? It's not like you.
I know. Lack of preparation equals failure.
Well, don't let them get in your head, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have a great show tonight. The sports world is in high gear right now. We're coming fresh off a live performance that we did at the Rock on Thursday night for our inaugural NFL Draft show.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
That was great.
Yes, special thanks to all the Baruches and Stephanie Tisch for making that happen on Thursday night.
All the fans that showed up.
Yes,
That was great.
especially how could I forget the fans? What is wrong with me?
I'm a man of the people, though.
And we created some new ones.
Yeah,
we sure did.
My man Fisher Rah-Rah.
Oh, my God. Greatest radio spot ever.
Biggest Jacksonville fan ever.
Loving him some Jacksonville.
Only
Jaguars.
Jacksonville fan ever.
He knew nothing, but he was very enthusiastic. Yo, you know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying?
You know?
For all of you guys wondering where that episode is, we're gonna get into that tonight. We're gonna dig into the editing portion of that after the show tonight. We'll have that up on the radio.
We're lazy.
We'll have that up on cyberspace for you guys soon. We had a lot of great friends and the new fans that we had out there interview while their team was picking and all that stuff. So it was a great time out there. If you missed it, make sure you don't miss the draft next year. Make sure you're watching it with us. Oh yeah,
you missed our inaugural. There'll be a replay next year. But the shirts were a bit of a hot commodity, huh?
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, they went, man. They went.
Yeah, big thanks.
That's what happens when you rig a raffle.
Big thanks to Jimmy Morley on those coming through with the T-shirts as always. That's becoming like our T-shirt kind of store right there, you know?
Yeah, no, he hooked it up, no doubt.
Definitely a supplier.
Yeah, he does a great job there. So big shout out to Morley once again. All right, so let's get into this NFL draft. That's what the whole world is talking about right now. We got. Let's talk about the local teams first. I feel like the Jets botched this one up a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I don't think D. Milner was the right pick there at number 9. What do you think?
Where'd you want to go with 9? Who'd you want there for the Jets?
Number 9, you got Chance Warmack still available on the board. Star Lotatui was there. I thought those both would have been great plays. Turns out they could have got Lotatui again at 13, but I don't think D. Milner was the right way to go there. You got Cromartie there. I don't think that, especially this year now, where Tom Brady is losing receivers by the minute, and then you got Miami. Yes, they've got Mike Wallace, but Cromartie can match up with him, and Buffalo's situation. Who the hell knows with them every year? I don't think that cornerback was their first need right there.
Well, at 9, you got to take the best player on your board, man. You can't draft for need that high. At least I don't think so. Do you give any credence to the fact that it's going to be a lot tougher for Milner to come in and essentially replace Revis, even though they have Cromartie? He's basically, putting it. Do you not like the pick for that reason?
It could be. I think that. Again, I just don't think that was the way that the Jets should have went. I think they have a little bit of. I don't want to say a lot of depth, but a little bit of depth there with Cromartie and who's the other? Yeah, Kyle Wilson. I think those are two bona fide stars right there that can at least get you the job done this season. With such a deep cornerback draft, I felt like as it turned out, they could have went Lotatui and Sheldon Richardson. They could have stocked it up real nice there in the middle.
They could have taken anybody on offense, and they obviously need lots of help over on that side of the ball. But
yeah.
Well,
I don't hate the pick.
I'll tell you what, and for those that are down a rock or anyone that watches it, we kind of reacted negatively to kind of both of the Jets picks. But the more I think about it, taking the Jets draft as a whole, honestly, the more I like it. They had Milner, rated as the best corner by far. Obviously, you just traded Rivas, so there's a need there. I agree that you don't want to throw a lot on the kid's shoulders, but Rex on defense, he likes to stockpile corners. My biggest problem was with the Sheldon Richardson pick because you know what? They have Mo Wilkerson, they had Quentin Coples. Sheldon Richardson can't play a nose in at the 3-4. But the more I think about it, they're going to move to a 4-3. I think their base defense, I think they're changing. I think Rex is a good enough defensive coach to be able to do that. Coples is better as a D end anyway in a 4-3. Richardson is a one gap defensive tackle in a 4-3. He's very. I'm not saying he's Warren Sapp, but he's that kind of player. Shoot a gap, go make a play. Mo Wilkerson could play that D tackle spot too. They got Kendrick Ellis. They can play the other outside. So I think that's where they're going. Rex can get creative with a lot of different looks. They had Richardson rated higher than Lotatui. So, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I like where they went. Talk about the guard. I was calling for Warmack at the guard spot at number 10, but then they came back in the second and third round. They picked up Brian Winters, Kent State. That kid's a day one starter, so they addressed that. You know what? I think the first round with the choice of Winters later on, I like. How about Geno? And we talked plenty about freaking Geno on the show, but what do you guys think about that one?
That's crazy.
Well, our boy Chef Bush, he basically wrote his autobiography for us a couple weeks ago. The pick with Geno is interesting. Tebow has recently been released.
Right, we're not talking about him. He's irrelevant.
I'm just saying. So
he's irrelevant.
That knocks one of the names out of the
he was never
out of the starting competition thing.
No,
but
he was never in the starting competition.
I'm just saying. You got you had 5 quarterbacks there. Okay. Now you clipped it down to 4.
Look, you got Sanchez, Garrard, and Geno. That's it. The other two they're
right. Sim's relevant. I agree. But yeah, it's a very interesting pick. Geno's been making headlines the last couple days by firing his agency that he went into the draft
make
with.
Headlines when he goes to ShopRite.
yeah, that's how the Jets roll. You're right.
Nah.
But I don't care if he fired his agent. I think that was made way too big a deal. Who cares?
Yeah, and then the report came out today that basically he just wanted to go a different way. It comes out where people leave their agencies all the time.
I've left mine multiple times. In fact, I'm looking for representation now. No one's calling me though. I don't know what the problem is.
They'll get you. But yeah, again, everything that you do in New York is going to be publicized when you're playing for the Jets.
All right, but break it down. Do you like the pick?
Yeah, it's great. It's great value. Where you get Geno Smith. Geno Smith, before Kansas City got Alex Smith, was rated as the number 1 player in this draft. Obviously, Kansas City getting Alex Smith, that changed a lot of things. I thought it was a little interesting that Buffalo went with E.J. Manuel there over Geno Smith.
I thought it was interesting that they went with him at 16.
Yeah,
I don't have if you think there's no Andrew Luck, there's no RG3 in this draft, right?
Right.
So there was whoever you spoke with, they had quarterbacks rated differently. So if you think E.J. Manuel's the best quarterback, I have no problem with you taking him, but you can't take him in the first round at 16. That was just terrible. You know what? It's not about the player. Because we don't know how good these players are going to be until 2 or 3 years down the road.
Right.
It's about the value, right?
Yeah,
it's
about
the value.
Later.
Exactly.
And,
so Buffalo, they could have had Tavon Austin at 8 without trading down, and then go back and then go get a quarterback in the second round.
And now you got a bona fide weapon out there.
Which, essentially what the Jets did. Geno, I don't think he's going to be that good, but like you said, Walsh, I agree with the value. But the main reason I don't like it before, I'm still standing with my man Chris Gross doesn't agree with me, but Rex is going to be gone after the year, and I'd rather bring in a new head coach and get to pick his own quarterback instead of having him essentially inherit Geno. But if the value's there, you go for it. I didn't have a huge problem with it.
If they do hire somebody else too, remember then Geno's going to be learning 2 systems in 2 years, and I don't know if he's built for all this.
Right. He might not fit the new offense. Absolutely.
It's not going to work out for him here, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. He might not fit the new offense next year, but
you got to pick a coach to tailor around your quarterback then, because now you're invested in this kid for the next 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, he could be interesting trade bait after the season. If the new coach comes in, if they screw up, and they got to get
Tampa.
They got it. I don't think so.
Do you think he's going to start right off the bat, Geno?
He thinks so.
Yeah.
Well, he should think. If he doesn't think so, then there's something wrong.
Yeah.
He has to think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you look at the...
I think looking...
No, it doesn't matter.
I think
You want the kid
looking
to
at
come
the
and know.
talent. But this brings up another interesting point, okay? Now, if the Jets really wanted Rex Ryan gone, I don't think they would have drafted Geno Smith, all right? Hear me out. If you wanted to be a lame duck team this season, you wouldn't have drafted a quarterback. You'd roll with Mark Sanchez and then roll the dice. I think next year is a very rich quarterback draft. You got a lot of decent quarterbacks out there. You got Teddy Bridgewater, Taj Boyd,
Manziel, whatever you think of him.
Yeah, a little bit of a high. I like him. You know, we'll see what the scouts think of him coming down.
And he's got to come
next
out,
year.
right? After he sees Barkley go down like that, he's got to come out.
AJ McCarron's going to be there next year. I know. Listen.
Stop.
No, I'm not done. I got the microphone now.
Boy.
Now listen.
He's the 14A front man, and he wants to be hurt.
Listen, AJ McCarron. I know what everybody says about Alabama quarterbacks. Can't really do this. Can't really do that.
Quarterbacks about him. He's not good.
He could be.
Did you ever see his chest tattoo?
I
Might
did
be
not.
the worst tattoo I've
Is
ever
that-
seen.
No,
is that
I
a-
guarantee it's not. I'll show you one during the break.
AJ McCarron has one tattoo in the middle of his chest.
I know what he's talking about.
Well, what's he doing with a chest tattoo?
I don't know, but we can't go rating quarterbacks off of chest tattoos. So let's get off the chest tattoo. Let's go stay in town, stay with the New York Giants, Mully's team. First round they go Justin Pugh, the guard out of Syracuse. How do you feel about your team's draft in general?
Classic. Let's talk about the first pick in Pugh. Classic need versus value, right? Was Pugh maybe the best player on the board right there? The Giants. Jerry Reese loves saying, "Oh, he was the best player. We had the highest rated." Yeah, well, he probably wasn't, in all honesty. But you know what? The Giants need a right tackle. They don't trust the young kids that they drafted, the Brewers, the James Brewers of the world. They need someone to come in and play right tackle. He was a 3-year starter at Syracuse, protecting the Sims blind side at the left side. So he's expected to come in and play a right tackle. They needed to fill the hole. He's a quality kid. He's a team captain. They said he's a smart guy. So hopefully he can come in. And at the very least, he's very versatile. At the very least, he'll be the Giants' swing man. He could fill in a spot guard. He'll push deal a tackle. So it was a need versus value pick. Do I think he was the best player on the board? No. I'm sitting there and we were at the show and I'm saying, imagine if the Giants get Tyler Eifert.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Giants get Tyler Eifert, put Cruz in a slot, because Eifert could. Oh man, you could all kinds of mismatch problems, but. That would have been a kind of a luxury pick. If you can't protect Eli, he can't throw it anyway. So, I have no problem with Pugh. I thought in the second and third round, I thought they got good value, specifically in the third round with DeMontre Moore.
Yep,
the kid had 12 and a half sacks in the SEC, the best conference by far in college football. He was projected to be, definitely first rounders, in the beginning, maybe a top 5 pick.
Oh, yeah.
He had a problem at the combine. He only did 12 reps at 225, but then he came back at the pro day and did 22. So he had a little bit of a shoulder issue.
Somebody got a little beef on him in due time. Very nice.
Maybe he did antler spray.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know what? I don't care. Just go sack the quarterback. But he's coming into a spot. He's not going to have to start. He could be a situational pass rusher. And I think he's only 20 years old. A young kid. I think that could be the Giants' steal of the draft. Then they take Nasib at 4. Again, another quarterback value pick.
I can't believe Nasib made it that far to round 4. The Buccaneers, for instance, Mike Glennon is the guy who they take. Now, I think this says something else for the Buccaneers. They want to give Freeman a little push, but they didn't get a guy to, necessarily take his spot because Barkley and Nasib were there. But back to the Giants again. I just think at round 4, that's just tremendous value, just in case anything happens to Eli.
Right. I think they've been wanting to groom a quarterback for a while.
You get to bring this kid up for 3-4 years behind Eli. Eli's 32 now. I mean, you're set if this kid turns out to what he can be.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Well,
no rush to bring him in.
Did you see what Jerry Reese said? He goes, "Yeah, we picked him." He goes, "I hope he never plays for us ever." Welcome to the NFL, kid. But yeah, no, quarterback insurance. David Carr's a backup. I guess you groom a Nasib. So I don't have a problem with my only beef with the Giants draft, and I guess that's the way the NFL is moving. They didn't take a linebacker. My boy, who I was calling for, Kasim Green, was there for the Giants in the 4th. Right. Wound up in a nice spot in Chicago. I think he's going to do well there.
Great pick for them,
but he was sitting there. No linebackers. But they did take a safety, a huge safety, Cooper Taylor, transferred from Georgia Tech, went to Richmond. The kid's 6'4", 230. So Perry Few likes to play, that big nickel with the 3 safeties. This kid might be able to fit the bill. So maybe this kid is basically the linebacker that they were looking for. I think all Giants fans need to give Jerry Reese, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's done a tremendous job since been the GM. So, they filled the hole at right tackle. They got some good value on the defensive line, beefed it up a little bit, and away we go. Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah. Now, quick question before we get to the rest of the NFL. It's a question for you, Irish Vern. Now, I know that linebacker, was one of the positions that you guys needed, very much so.
Right.
All right. Now, you look at the picks after Pugh, where the Giants went at 19.
Right.
There wasn't a linebacker selected until 30 with Alec Ogletree. And then to start the second round, you had Te'o, Kevin Minter, Kiko Alonso. I don't know. I know you wanted Ogletree a lot, but you very happy with Pugh, or would you rather one of those linebackers, though?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a scheme thing. Going back to Pugh, they needed a right tackle, so it was kind of a need pick. They had to go right tackle. He was the best one left. It was a lineman draft. There were a ton of linemen taken. You had a guard taken. Top 2 of them taken in the top 10, which is unprecedented. So it was a lineman draft. They needed to fill that hole. I want a linebacker. Yeah, I want a linebacker. The Giants haven't had a playmaking linebacker in we're going on 7-8 years now since Antonio Pierce was in his prime. But now it's a scheme thing. The Giants, what the Giants win with? They protect Eli and they rush the passer. So, if they get to the passer, everybody else is better. There's still a couple interesting free agent veterans, which I think the Giants might be interested in, but we'll see. No, did I want a linebacker? Yeah. But I think the NFL, the way it is now, the linebackers, with the spreads, you need guys that can run. So you're playing 5 DBs, 6 DBs. So, just like the fullback was kind of phased out, running backs devalued in the NFL. I think the same things happen to the linebacker position. Those that don't rush the passer anyway.
Right. All right, so let's get into a couple winners in this draft. The Cincinnati Bengals, I think, did a tremendous job. They go ahead and grab Tyler Eifert there in the first round, where a bunch of teams went over him. My guys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they didn't trade for Revis, that would have been a great spot for Eifert there at 13. But I'll take Darrelle Revis as a first-round draft pick this year. The Bengals also go ahead and grab Giovanni Bernard, the running back at UNC, a great pick. Marcus Hunt later in the second round.
You think Giovanni Bernard, though, they took him before Eddie Lacy? You think he's a better? You think he's a better player than Eddie Lacy?
Again, I think it goes ahead to that scheme talk, and I think we saw a lot of teams who were taking people where we're like, what the hell are they taking him over? Why were they taking A over B for?
Especially running back. You're not drafting the running back that's going to carry the ball. No team lets a running back carry the ball 25, 30 times. Outside Adrian Peterson, there's a handful of guys that do it anymore. So you're just looking for a complimentary back, or So they gave Andy Dalton some more weapons there in the first 2 rounds. You gotta love what they did there.
How about just real quick? Speaking of Eddie Lacy, what the Packers did, they grabbed Eddie Lacy in the second, and then they went and grabbed.
I love it. I love it.
The UCLA back, Jonathan Franklin.
Yeah,
I mean, talk about
you drafted 2-headed monster right there.
Exactly what you were talking about. Maybe this Trent Richardson and AP. Maybe that the only featured back in the NFL. It's a 2-back league.
Arian Foster too.
Okay, yeah. We'll get into our fantasy later on.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah, but no, to your point, I think that's that's a nice job by the Packers.
Yeah, they did a great job there.
Yeah.
Both of which I think are better than Giovanni Bernard.
All right.
But I understand the scheme fit.
All right, the St. Louis Rams go ahead and kill the draft as well. They go ahead and trade up with the Buffalo Bills at number 8, grab Tavon Austin.
Right in front of the Jets. The Jets were going to take Austin at 9 if the Rams didn't.
Who liked that?
Yeah.
Gotta have him. Alec Ogletree also goes late, first round to the St. Louis Rams. Another great pick. T.J. McDonald, hard-hitting safety out of USC, is the guy that the Rams need. Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin's teammate in West Virginia.
I mean, those were Gino's weapons, man. Those two, dynamic players.
Now they're Sammy's weapons.
I think St. Louis clearly needed them.
Finally,
they clearly needed them. I think that's a good fit.
He's needed weapons around him for a while now.
And another guy they get here too, Barrett Jones, center out of Alabama. I mean, you're playing in a
very versatile. Though.
And
he can play left, he can play center, he can play guard. Yeah.
Now, which is the most physical division in football. I mean, the Rams have set themselves up right with maybe a notch below San Francisco and Seattle.
They were 4-1-1 against them last year.
Oh yeah, they did a great job in the conference. So watch out for the St. Louis Rams this year.
Jeff Fisher's a hell of a coach, man.
Yeah,
Hell of a coach.
another team that did a great job, the Baltimore Ravens. As we were we were talking before the show. Jerome was saying that they replaced Ray Lewis and Ed Reed in this draft by grabbing Matt Elam out of Florida, and then my favorite pick of the draft, Arthur Brown, out of
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Sorry, shows how much of my boy he is. but yeah, a lot of people were comparing Arthur Brown to Ray Lewis. It's great that they get him, and good for Baltimore.
That's what great teams do, though. Man, look, the Ravens have been relevant for 12, 13, 14 years now.
Yeah.
They're always in it, just like the Giants. They have so much depth, and this is why they draft right and just do the right things, make the right moves, and there you go. You'll be in it every year.
They're actually Mel Kiper's top.
Don't do what the Cowboys did.
They're Mel Kiper's top team in this draft. They did a great job. Actually, I was very surprised about this. The top fullback in the draft came out of Harvard this year. Kyle Juszczyk.
Where did he end up?
Baltimore.
He's Polish.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Real quick, I want to talk. The Giants took a running back late. And I'm a big, I have Rutgers season tickets. I've watched Ray Graham for a couple of years. This kid better be good because Ray Graham can run. I'm shocked Ray Graham didn't get drafted. And then another kid, local kid from Stony Brook on Long Island, Miguel Mayoset, wound up with the Eagles. Two names to watch for. I think they're going to be good running backs in the NFL. Which I hope they're not better than the UMass kid, but I think they're going to be.
All right. We're gonna get back into the NFL draft later on in the show. Coming up on the show tonight, if he's got time for us, Dennis Rorty is going to come by and talk a little bit about the Knicks basketball. And we got the Nipsey report, which is something interesting.
Nipsey
report. All you people down in Belmar this summer, if you see a guy coming around with a camera, don't be shy. It's just Nipsey taking pictures for 14A Sports. But next, coming up on the show, Bobby Balis is in studio. He's coming on to the microphone. It's part of the inaugural reunion show for 14A Sports.
You like the word inaugural.
I like these big words. I tell you, I'm not kidding when I say that I read the dictionary.
Figure out what they mean.
Yeah, I got it.
He has one of them calendars at home. It gives you like a word, and he just
Word
uses
of
it.
the day. All right.
Yeah, all right. I'm just going to get to the video. All right, the first video that we got coming up tonight is from our buddies, The Scandals. This one's called The All-Nighters. And when we get back, Bobby Balis at the mic. 14A Sports on 15 Minutes Fame Radio. We'll be right back.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.
Oh, welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show. It's getting better and better every time.
Coles needs friends, by the way. Can we get some people over here for Coles?
We just said, Coles, you look lonely. She's like, I need friends.
All right, we'd like to welcome back a fan favorite to the team right now. Everybody welcome Bobby Balis back to the show. How you doing, Bobby?
Hello. Very nice to be here. How's everybody doing?
We're doing great. How's that mole food that you had on the way in here?
It was good. You know that Asian place, the double chicken and teriyaki meat?
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, the one they give out the free samples?
Yeah, I got that.
They all do.
I got that. And since I'm doing the low carb thing, I got that with no rice, just vegetable. It was delicious.
Did you try for the girl's number? I know you like Asians.
It was a guy, and he got it.
Not surprising.
It's 50-year-old Chinese men working there, so.
Did you get his number?
Yeah.
All right, so, Bobby, we got you in here tonight. Talk some New York Yankees baseball. You guys are currently sitting 2 games behind the Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
I know you came in here before the season started. We were talking a little bit about Yankees got some injuries, not doing so well. You said they're going to be just fine, and it seems like they are. They're floating water right now. What's the key to all this?
Well, the key is the injuries they had, the guys they replaced them with were with guys who had track records themselves.
Right.
Travis Hafner was a very productive player, and while he was healthy.
Right. He was great in
I
Cleveland,
got the 5 years he was healthy in Cleveland, where he played over 120 games, he drove in 100 runs. But
Gronk, right? He was the original Gronk.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is,
he was dominant.
He hasn't played more than 110 games since 2008, so that's been his problem. Mm-hmm. Now he's healthy. He's got an OPS over 1,000, which is utterly ridiculous. Vernon Wells came in, and what you were doing there is you were hoping for lightning in a bottle, and you got it. Yeah. He could always turn on a fastball. But what he did this offseason is that he shortened up his swing a little bit, and instead of always hitting for power, now he's hitting to all fields. He's getting on base. And out there in left field, he's a Gogolov outfielder.
Oh, yeah,
he's
still.
playing
So, and as far as Lyle Overbay is doing what I thought he would do. Not hit a whole lot, but play Gold Glove defense. Right. And that's all you're asking of him.
Bob, let me ask you this. And when you came in, you would give me these names, and Lyle Overbay, I thought was a complete joke. I didn't believe in Hafner. Or Vernon Wells, I said maybe. Hafner, I didn't believe in at all because of the injury concerns.
Right, and that's, yeah.
How do these guys, look at Raul Bond, how do these guys come to the Yankees seemingly washed up?
Right.
And, they just give you they become productive players. You have huge holes. They come in. They just step right in and fill them. What is it about the Yankees? No other team does it like they do. What is it about them that they're able to do this?
Well, the guy you mentioned, Ibanez, Hafner. What two things they have distinctly in common?
They're left-handed.
And they love to pull the ball.
Okay.
That's absolutely that. They also have a great hitting coach. And Kevin Long.
Are you trying to say that the Yankees do their homework?
They might have a little bit. But, and they hit a coach, Kevin Long. He tweaked Euclid's swing a little bit. He's tweaked Granderson's swing a few years ago. So, they got good coaching. And the guys they get, they aren't stupid. They get guys conducive to the stadium.
Okay.
They know what they're getting.
Do you put any credence to the Yankee culture or the Yankee
to be a Yankee
system? The clubhouse of the Yankees. Do you put any credence behind that?
A little. It's not as much as it was, I think, in the Joe Torre era, as it is now. But I think there's a little mystique behind that, where you put on that uniform and you get, like Scott Brocious said, when you put on that Yankee uniform, you get a jolt of pride. So maybe it has a little bit to do with it.
It's funny though. You say these old timers that seem washed up, they come in and they have big seasons for the Yankees, right? And then they go get these hotshot free agents that come in and flop on their face, and it's just funny how the older guys can come in and turn it on when it seems like they have nothing left, and these kids that you're giving $100 million to fall on their face. And
Brian.
I was going to make the same point. Brian Cashman, if he has one legacy, I think he's gotten away from giving out those big contracts.
Right. God,
and picking up the spare parts and doing a great job of doing it. Guys that fit the stadium doing their homework. So you got to give Cashman credit to that.
You can go all the way back to 2006. 2006 when they had injuries like this, and they traded for Bobby Abreu, and they had to plug in guys like Nick Green, Aaron Guile, Aaron Small, Sean Chacon.
Corey Lytle, then he crashed a plane.
Yeah.
Aaron Small, didn't he go on like an 11-2 run?
He was
never heard.
He was 10-0.
Never heard from again.
Sean Chacon went big too for us.
He was 8-1 down the stretch, and that's Cashman's calling card. Is he's been able to plug guys in. Even a few years ago, Freddie Garcia, Bartolo Colon, even albeit for maybe just a season.
Mitre had a good run there for a while.
It's if you can get guys on the cheap, on the scrappy, plug in, be productive. That's
Yeah, not every team in New York can do that.
I feel for you, Molly.
But just real quick with the Mets, we're not even going to talk about the Mets. It's set for the one bright spot because I might throw up live on television.
Valdespin
in cyberspace.
No, but Matty, have you watched Matty Harvey yet? You seen him pitch yet?
I saw him pitch in the minors a couple times, and I've seen him pitch once, and the kid's the goods.
Yeah.
He's the absolute goods. He throws hard.
I like when people say that.
He's a really, and he's got the body of a pitcher, too, where he's going to hold up long term.
Thick kid, tall.
You look like a guy like Tim Lincecum, for instance, who's got a small, lanky body.
He's boyish.
Yeah, he looks like the kid from...
no, he looks like Michelle Branch. Is who he looks like.
What's that movie? Where'd they paddled him?
Animal House. Animal House.
No, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah,
you're right.
Black drives around paddling
Yeah,
kids.
right.
I just like the kid that gets paddled.
I thought you were. Yeah, he certainly does. I thought you were going with the. Thank you, sir. May I have another paddling reference?
They do that. Dazed and Confused too. Affleck drives around with the black kid.
Oh yeah, I know.
Paddle kid.
That's an American classic right there. If I ever seen
I have no idea what's going on.
Well, that's what he looks like.
If it was an Asian movie, you'd know.
The point is he's little.
Oh, jeez.
Huang Dong, you would know it.
Too much.
Someone watching this right now is going to be very angry with me.
I don't know who you could be thinking. I don't know.
But my point bringing up Lincecum is he's a guy who's going to have arm problems and might already have. He's not what he was a few years ago, but Harvey's got the body to pitch. I would, however, me and you were talking before the show, Mulhern. You got to keep an eye on his pitch count. Keep an eye on the innings. You know, you don't want to overthrow this kid, have him blow out his arm, and you need that TJ surgery.
The last game, the 15-inning game, the Mets blew, terrible. But Terry Collins, he has 103 pitches. Terry Collins has him hit for himself in the top of the sixth. What? Like you're absolutely right. That's crazy.
What was the situation? Were there 2 outs, nobody on?
I think he let off the inning.
That's really stupid.
It's insane. It's insane.
All right, enough about Mets talk.
Yeah. You know what? That's fine. I have no problem.
Hey, they won today. They won.
How about that Colin Cowgill?
They did. Opening day hero.
Salt in the wound.
Oh, boy. All right, so back to the Yankees. We're talking about a lot of guys who have had decent major league careers stepping in. One guy that has always been there with the Yankees and has always produced, Mariano Rivera, 10 for 10 on save opportunities already. Talk about how this guy's doing it.
Greatest ever.
Number 42. Mariano Rivera. Well, I'll tell you what it is. Mo, I think, honestly, could pitch till he's about 50 years old.
He seems like it. He seems like it.
It's like an arm
that
of rubber,
pitch,
huh?
the control, the movement he has on that pitch, I've never seen any other pitcher have that control and movement.
Good luck on that cutter to opposing
puts it
hitters.
right on the
Jesus.
handle.
Also,
God.
the thing is, too, the reason why he's so consistent, if you watch clips of him, even from his rookie season till now, his motion, his delivery is all the same. Yeah. And there's not a whole lot to his motion. His mechanics are very fluid. There's not a lot going on. And that's also why he really hasn't been hurt a whole lot. I mean, he was hurt last year, but it wasn't a fluke. It was a total fluke thing. He's been healthy his whole career because there's not a lot going on there. He's very relaxed. He's very calm. He doesn't get rattled. And he's the greatest relief pitcher in the history of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not even close. He really is unbelievable.
I don't know if there could ever be a debate. I mean, jeez.
I don't think so.
You ever see somebody coming along? I mean, Gagne had the great run there in L.A. for a couple of years. Steroids induced, of course. Yeah. But did you ever see anybody come along for this amount of time doing this again?
I don't think so.
It's been since '96 he's doing it. So what's that? 17 years.
Yeah, according to my mathematics, yeah.
We'll take it.
18, yeah.
I wish Jonathan Papelbon would learn something from this guy.
Oh, Pap smear?
Yeah. I hate him. I hate him so much.
I hate him because he used to be a Red Sox, so I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, but we hit him pretty good most of the time.
Bobby Parnell's awesome.
He got it today. He finished out today.
Look at the juxtaposition of the Yankees since '96 have had Mo. Look at what the Mets have gone through.
You had John Franco for a while,
huh?
You had Franco.
Franco used to walk the bases loaded every time he came to the game.
But he was like the greatest cheerleader of all time.
Out in September.
Turk Wendell.
Billy Wagner was same thing. Couldn't get it out in September. We've been terrible, terrible. And Frank Francisco,
terrible.
That and Sandy Olsen.
Oh, that's
2 years for
that's
12.
terrible.
And now we got Bobby Parnell blowing games. So
that's terrible.
You're lucky you have Mo. Let me just say.
Yeah.
All right, so Euclid just hit the DL right now. Teixeira, still got Grandy, Jeter, everybody on there.
And Cervelli. Cervelli just went
down. Cervelli as well.
Paisan.
I mean, how long?
Nova just went down.
Did he too?
Yeah.
You know what? That's a
could stay there.
Yeah,
the way he's been pitching.
Nova could stay there. And you slide
out.
Phelps right into the rotation. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So with all these injuries, I mean, how long do you see this all lasting for?
Well,
all this glory lasting for.
Now, the injuries they had previously, I said they could tread water because they were replacing them with guys who were starters and stars in the past. Now with the injury to Euclid, the injury to Cervelli, now you're replacing them with guys who are
fringe major league players,
bench players.
Yeah.
If you're playing Jason Nixon, Chris Stewart every day, now you have problems.
Yeah.
Okay. The Yankees called up Boston Romine to take Cervelli's spot, and I think he might be a solid major league catcher. I would put him out there every 3 to 5 days. You got to see what you have, and to take Euclid's spot, they called up a kid who I like. The Yankees took in the 4th round of 2008 draft. Went to high school in Tennessee. His name's Corbin Joseph.
Okay.
And
Bobby's big on this guy.
I like this.
It's a solid name.
I got some numbers on him.
He's got numbers.
I pulled up. Every year in the minor leagues, he's progressed. He's had a 400 on base percentage a couple seasons. 2011.
So he's on base. He have any power?
He's a gap hitter. He 38 doubles twice. 25, 29. He's a doubles hitter. He gets some triples. He's good for. I think his best major league season, if he develops, he could be like a 40 double, 15 homer guy, 80 ribby.
I take that.
On base percentage around 400.
How's the glove? And he's a straight third baseman?
No, he was drafted as a shortstop. They moved him to second base, and obviously he's stuck there.
Yeah.
They have him playing a little third base. The glove is, average defense. He's got the arm to play third base. The question is the glove over there. But this guy, so far out in Scranton this year, he's got an OPS of 824, on base at 347. Already hit 4 home runs, and I think he's a guy you got to play him instead of Nix.
Yeah, Nix. You know what Nix is. Yeah.
You know what Nix is. He's a bench player.
Yeah. Right. How old is Corbin?
Corbin Joseph. Let's see. He's drafted in 08, 5 years ago, so he's got to be 24 years old.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, you gotta play him now and see what you got.
Yeah.
We got any kind of timeline on this guy coming in?
What's that?
On Corbin coming up.
Well, he's up already.
Oh, is it?
Just how much are they going to play him now?
He called him up when Euclid went
down. Oh, sorry.
I'll call Girardi during the break and see how long.
I'm looking here at the stats.
Check
here.
click on that box score. Let's see if he's in the lineup tonight.
All right.
While we're doing that, though, so to move from the offensive side to the pitching, let me ask you this. You know what? Kuroda is sneakily like one of the best pitchers in baseball.
All the Japanese are sneaky. Remember Pearl Harbor?
Well
played.
No, he's not. He's not allowed to.
So leave him alone. Pettit's going to do Pettit. I know he got shelled the other day, but that was an aberration. He's been solid. Let me ask you this. Watching CeCe, when CeCe first got to the Yankees, hard thrower, flamethrower. He got it up 96, 97, 98. Right now, his average fastball is under 90 miles an hour.
Right.
He's certainly he's a smart enough pitcher. He's a good enough pitcher to be able to compete. Can he be dominant again with a 90 mile an hour fastball? Is that possible, especially in that Yankee Stadium?
Well, I think the fastball is going to jump a little bit because CeCe doesn't really pitch a whole lot in spring training.
Okay.
He always gets off to rough starts. If you look at his velocity,
a good April
and his
career
Aprils, he really doesn't have good Aprils. Once you get to late May, he's going to start popping the glove at 93.
You think it'll come back?
Yeah, and maybe in a couple years his velocity is going to go down, but I think he's going to regress a lot like Andy Pettit did because he's a smart pitcher.
Absolutely.
And now Pettit only tops out at like 88, but Pettit knows how to pitch.
Right.
CeCe knows how to pitch. But
I agree.
I think for this season and the next maybe 2 seasons, he'll be able to get up to 93.
Yeah, we don't see that fastball working too well this season. He's giving up a team high 6 home runs on the on the season.
Yeah, but his ERA is 3.5.
Man.
So I mean that's second on the
team. He's a career slow starter.
Yeah. But he's only second in ERA behind Kamikaze over there.
Like you were saying, this is the time of the career where the fastball will go down a little bit, and you have to pitch more. You have to learn to work the corners a little better, just like Pettit did. That's why Pettit's been so good for so long. He's a good pitcher,
absolutely,
and not just a thrower anymore.
The left-handed Greg Maddux.
Yeah,
yeah.
Andy Pettit, quite as good as Greg Maddux.
Andy Pettit is the true definition of a crafty lefty.
Yeah.
He gets that double play ball all the time when he needs it, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Always gets a guy on, then that pickoff move is just ridiculous. But
so, who stay with the AL East? So you're two back the Red Sox, who surprising team. The Jays, who came in with a lot of hype.
Yeah, I love that.
Reyes Shaft, the anchor.
My under.
My man R.A. Dickey. He's been brutal. Josh Johnson on a DL. Surprise.
Yeah, no surprise there.
The Angels, essentially falling apart at the seams.
Jeez.
What's your biggest surprise in the AL East right now?
Biggest surprise, obviously the Red Sox.
Yep.
Lester's come back, and he's John Lester again. Clay Butt.
Yeah, he's been.
I was just Clay Buckholz. I was about to call him Clay Buttholes.
That'll happen.
Well, thank God you didn't.
Too late. He's pitched really well. Ryan Dempster, who they got, he's pitched really well. And then you got guys like Daniel Navas hitting, Will Middlebrooks, Dustin Pedroia is hitting like 330.
Poppy came back off the DL, and he lit it up.
He's hitting. They're hitting right now. They made the right moves. They're surprising so far. Biggest disappointments, obviously, Toronto. But you know what?
It's not much for disappointment.
I mean, it's not a disappointment because I didn't expect much to them.
You really believe
they
it.
were so hyped because you bring over R.A. Dickey, who
had a great year last year.
But this is the AL East. This is the AL East. You bring over Mark Burley, who's a 500 pitcher, and you're asking Josh Johnson to be your number 2, who had one healthy year in his entire career. And then after that, what do you have? Brandon Morrow and who's the other guy? J.A. Happ, I think.
That's Walsh's boy.
Yeah.
So if those are your 5,
I don't know.
He's not winning wherever he is.
Doesn't matter where he is.
I think Hap's with the Jays. I could be wrong.
He had a good start recently.
But they haven't hit either.
And they have no bullpen.
Batista hasn't hit. Encarnacion hasn't had any power.
Well, I think they might have stopped taking those Dominican milkshakes.
Yeah. Why? I guess once he get paid, Batista got paid.
Well, that's the thing with Toronto. You bring together a bunch of losers, and a bunch of losers aren't going to give you a bunch of winning games, and it's tough for me to sit here and say a guy who's
he's a Cy Young.
But a knuckleballer is not going to duplicate that kind of
but
year.
You know what?
That ball ain't dancing in the Rogers Center, my friend.
I like better a bunch of mercenaries. Going back, the Yankees have a culture, right? They have an organizational culture. Toronto doesn't have that. They bring these guys together. When it hits the fan, I think that's part of it. They have no one to depend on. No one's really taking accountability.
Right.
Reyes goes down. No one steps up in his place. I think that's a big part of it. More than they're losing ball players. I just think they don't feel the urgency, the necessity to step up.
I've seen them as like a big team together. Those guys, a group of they really don't care about each other or the team aspect.
And that's a good
get
point.
paid and.
They're essentially mercenaries.
That's a good point, because there is something still to be said. I mean, we're in the world of sabermetrics and numbers now, but there's something to be said about team chemistry.
There is.
They absolutely have.
Some people overrate it, no doubt about it. Some people do, but it's still there. There's no denying it without question.
Right. Just sticking with baseball. I know we were talking about a lot of surprises. One thing I want to bring up, speaking of chemistry too. The LA Angels, they're 10-17 right now. You got Pujols, Trout, and Hamilton on the same team right now.
And Trumbo.
Trumbo, yes, awesome. Absolutely. And we didn't even get into their pitching staff either.
Well, it's brutal. That's their problem.
You got C.J. Wilson. You got Weaver, who's been out now for, a week or two.
How's Greinke doing?
Greinke. He's with the Dodgers.
Oh, he's with the
Dodgers. Yeah. But but this is a team that, they are completely underachieving. Do you see maybe Schotz's job in jeopardy right now?
He's been around. He's been there 11 seasons.
10, I was gonna say
It's been a while.
It's
been a while. They won it, right?
But they started slow last year too. And they brought up Trout, and that gave them a jolt, and they went on a tear. But
7 games under.
There's no more Trout.
Yeah, there's no Mike Trout coming to the rescue.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe when they get Weaver back, they'll get a little jolt. But that's only a guy who pitches one every 5 days.
Right.
And that bullpen is really not good at all. That's a huge problem.
They signed Matson to be their closer. He hasn't even started throwing it.
The big problem there is
great trade by Phils. Thank you.
Josh Hamilton. He's going to get it going eventually. He's got to. But now the scary thing is you got Pujols for 9 years, and this guy's hurt and declining.
That's a crazy contract.
And that's going to hurt you. And I think if they don't make the playoffs, I think Socha's gone this year.
Yeah. I could see it coming before the season. I mean, just the way that they're starting, 10-17. I mean, they don't have time for a loser in LA. That's just not how things work out there. With all the money that they spend.
Big surprise. Who's in first place? The Texas Rangers.
Yeah, I know.
Lance Berkman is he's found the fountain of youth, and he's been raking the ball.
He likes fried chicken.
He's been killing the ball.
You would absolutely expect. You go out, you get Pujols one year, Hamilton the next year, and then a guy like Trout comes up in the middle of that. You would expect to win 100, 105.
Absolutely.
This is unacceptable. Socha's got to be gone.
If you don't, but it's all about pitching, defense,
they're playing one side.
Yeah,
they're playing one side. They put their money on one side of the
It's horrible.
If you can't pitch, it doesn't matter if you got 9 guys who could bash the ball.
See, Hamilton should have came to the Yankees.
But you know what though? Did you want Hamilton? He's the exact kind of guy you were just talking about before.
Right.
That
I know. He would have flopped on his face.
I would love.
You don't win in baseball with long-term contracts. You don't.
See,
you don't
really
do it.
don't. We
the thing is, I would have loved to have Hamilton as a Yankee fan, except for the fact that on any corner of the Bronx you can get cracked.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, yeah, he would have been done. He would have been.
I think he prefers heroin
in a corner. Yeah,
you're good.
Is that readily available? Of course.
Oh, yeah. It's New York. All right, so how about we break up a little bit of the monotony? We'll get into the Coles News Network, and then after the I didn't mean monotony. This is me going again.
That's him looking at the calendar.
This is me going again with the calendar, right? So we'll get into a little news right now, and then when we're done with the news, we'll get back and we'll go full throttle. We got playoffs. We got a whole bunch. We got a whole bunch to talk about.
Playoffs.
We'll have Bobby Balis back in this. All right, so we'll get to video right now.
All right.
All right. We're gonna get to two actually right now. This first one's coming up from Truce. It's called "The Life." The one after that's our boys Fiction 20 down like hip hop. They're white guys, but they get down like hip hop.
Down like hip hop song is awesome.
That is good.
White hip hop.
Check them. No,
it's
that's just the name of
I
the
like
song.
some Mraz.
You know what? They're like a Sublime type band. They're
Yeah.
actually, and they're in the summer. They're going to be playing in the area somewhere down at Belmar. So we'll let you know about that. But that's cool.
HD, is this true song?
Belmar Block.
Is that the get put on a shirt one?
You'll be on Nipsey's Belmar Block.
Nah, that's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure we're looking out for our boy Truce out there. What's up?
What do we get one of these?
Nipsey,
I got a couple at my house.
You gotta give me some.
Yeah,
I got you.
we need a website or something.
And also a special shout.
operational one.
And also a special shout out to our boy HD, best engineer out there in cyberspace, making the whole thing work. All right, we're going to get into these two videos right now. We'll be back with the Coles News Network after this.
Let's go.
Oh, welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show. I like it. I don't mean to repeat you when you do it. It's so good, though.
I know,
love it.
it's like catchy, right?
I know. I love it.
Can I do a guest grunt, maybe?
Possibly.
There's no rules.
You want to go again? All right, we'll go again.
Official bull.
Welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show. All right.
Delayed reaction, but
I thought you were gonna go. I was waiting for you, and
you
then
just said you wanted to do it.
yeah, but I figured third in line because you guys are the hosts.
All right. Well, yeah, he's kind. All right, so let's get into the NBA playoffs right now. Big story right now. The Celtics look like they're going to force a Game 6 right here against the New York Knicks. J.R. Smith is not laying the pipe tonight. He's solid 1 of 11 from the field.
Ain't no ladies letting you lay the pipe when you got
Ooh,
stats
and the
like that.
Knicks actually just made it a little closer here at the end, 88-83 with a minute 5 left.
6-0 run, all it takes. I just said
Could
that.
happen.
What's the score?
88-83 with about a minute left
Hey,
going
Knicks
on
fans,
here.
now remember what Reggie Miller did to them in the 90s?
Please don't
It was
remind
like,
me.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I had to go there.
I just talked about J.R. Smith doing nothing, and like he goes 1 of 11, and all of a sudden he comes back and he's got 11 points.
That's what he
Oh,
does.
yeah.
Hey, do you know-
he
you know
will
what
be
I-
laying the pipe tonight, man.
Do you know what I saw on the internet?
What
one
did you
day?
see on the internet?
Well, lots of things, but this one particular thing, J.R. Smith, his high school yearbook.
Oh, the yearbook quote. Yeah, I saw
It said, "Get bitches that die trying."
He's been a
stuff.
I
classy guy
loved
since
it.
he was
I
a pup,
loved it.
apparently.
And then he graduated to want to get the pipe.
yeah, right here in
Natural, it's a natural progression.
Jersey Zone. Gotta love it.
Where is he from? Where did he
Freehold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did he go? St. Bonaparte or
I
something
don't
like
know.
Saint
I don't know.
He didn't go to St.
They're probably not
it was
proud.
it was
that he-
St. Benedict's with Danny Hurley.
There's a school's chancellor with his hands over his head right now.
Can we look? See where he? I'm curious to see where.
All
he
right, yeah,
went.
we can do that.
You guys
But
keep
But
talking.
yeah,
I'll look.
while we're into it, so it looks like Boston's gonna force this Game
So
6.
who's the lead? I don't know. Who's the lead scorer for Boston?
Boston's got a lot of guys in double digits right now. All the bigs are doing it. Pierce,
Jeff Green have a game.
Garnett, Bradley's having himself a nice little game.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, though, this is a veteran team. You know, you shouldn't be surprised when they do. They play these big playoff games big, just
Yeah.
like the Spurs. You know, they're used to these spots.
I agree
So,
with you to a degree. That's why I wasn't that surprised when they won Game 4, Boston. You know, in their home place. You know, in the Garden, the Boston Garden. I'm shocked that the Knicks didn't close out the series.
Yeah.
Coming back to their house, Smith coming back for off suspension. He's
Well,
you know
they're
talking
not used to
smack,
winning series.
saying
Yeah.
saying that
Easy
he
now.
should have been playing golf. He would have been playing golf if he was in the last game. I'm shocked they laid an egg tonight.
No,
Very
really,
surprised.
they're not used to closing
There's
out
still-
series. They're inexperienced.
There's
in
still
this,
time left.
aspect
There's
of
still
it.
a minute left. Only down
Right.
by 5.
Well, I always say this about teams when, you're that, whether you're down 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, whatever it is, you're going to see that team that's down. You're going to see their best performance
I would hope
of the
so.
season, because you're fighting for your lives and you're going to see it. And it happens a lot. We saw it with the Nets the other night. We saw them play well coming off that horrible loss. They had
They
to
were more
come back. They
efficient
had to
than
come
in Game 1.
Yeah, they had to come back and bounce back. Let's get into that then too.
Just real quick to go back to your
yeah.
point that you're not surprised this. I agree with you and to a degree, but not 2 games in a row. The Knicks are clearly they have more talent. The Knicks are a superior team.
And much deeper.
I don't think
deeper.
that's arguable.
No.
I'm not like to your point. I'm not surprised Boston gave them their best shot in Game 4. I'm shocked they're coming out here in Game 5 and doing it again. Whether it's 3-1, whatever it is, it's very surprising. Usually, you get a game. It's hard to sweep people. The one team gets a game. Houston just took a game from OKC. I bet they closed them out, in Game 5.
That's tonight.
That's not that surprising.
Well, is Doc out coaching Woodson then?
Probably.
Yeah,
But I haven't seen any games, so I don't know.
Well, Boston's a very, heavily veteran team. You knew that they weren't going to go down quiet. It's just, you're right. It's shocking that the Knicks just going to get this.
The other thing is too, and I've said it before. J.R. Smith, he could, he could make you or break you. He's that kind of player. Right. He shot 1 for 11, so they don't have a second scorer after him.
Well, the thing is, it's not the coaching. Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith are a combined 10 for 36.
Right, you can't. If they don't make shots,
you're not going to win games when those two guys are shooting less than less than 30%.
The only thing is, I don't know how Doc decided to, defensively, he wasn't doubling Carmelo. He's giving him a soft double most of the series, from what I saw. If he, started doubling Carmelo, making Smith beat them, I don't know how it played out. So. On the defensive rotations, Doc could have did a nice job, but I really don't know.
Well, one of the things I could just, we haven't been able to watch this game. That's the luxury of being on cyberspace radio. But, one of the things that you could see from the box score tonight, the Knicks' high guy in assists is 3. Yeah. Raymond Felton tonight. So, and it shows they only have 83 points right now, as the game is closing out right now. So, this is a team that, they do well when they move the ball. They do well when Carmelo distributes the rock and when things like that could happen. But Raymond Felton is your high assist guy tonight with 3 assists. Then, I can see exactly where this game went.
And Kenyon Martin didn't get a lot of minutes for whatever reason.
Really?
He's, I really like Kenyon Martin off the bench because he's a true he's an enforcer. He's a thug. You need a guy like that off the bench that will knock you on your ass if you come through the lane.
Absolutely.
There were a lot better teams down the stretch once they signed him.
Absolutely. Kenyon Martin
he's
an old school, mid-90s Knicks, Oakley, Xavier McDaniel, Ewing, Mason kind of guy where you want to come in and dunk on me, I'm going to knock you on your ass.
Yeah.
And they need guys like that. For some reason, he only got 13 minutes tonight. Really don't know why, but when he comes in, he kind of gives them a big boost off the bench.
A lot of energy, ton of energy. It doesn't score that many points, but grab a key offensive rebound, make a block.
Right,
just does a lot of little things.
Hard fouls.
The gritty guy are in there.
Right, yeah.
No, absolutely.
You're afraid to come down the middle with him sitting there.
Right, exactly. That's it.
He's gonna hit you.
Tyson Chandler's not that kind of player. As good defensively as he is, he's a slender 7 foot.
He's not a guy that scares you. Yeah. Kenyon Martin is a guy that you say, "Oh crap, I don't want to go in against."
He might rob you. He is a thug.
He might stab you in the neck.
I cross the street when I see him.
All right, so a couple of the other series here in the first round. Miami swept Milwaukee. That's done with the Spurs swept the Lakers. No surprise there. Looks like OKC is going to close out Houston tonight. Houston got the 2-point win last night with no Westbrook, so they're just mismatched down low there. But a couple other interesting series that we have here. I love this Denver Golden State series. Golden State is shooting lights out right now.
They try to beat Steph Curry up, and rightfully so. I don't blame him. You got to beat the guy up. He's killing you.
Yeah, rough him up a little bit.
The one thing about that series that's so disappointing to me is two of my
no Danilo
Gallinari, my paisan,
it's his boy,
and no David Lee in the series, and you got 2 former Knicks who were my 2 favorite players before all this went down, and they're not in the series, and they're probably, arguably 2 of their best players. Gallo might be the Nuggets' best player, and Steph Curry and the Warriors. But David Lee, I saw something on ESPN the other day. David Lee was the only player in the NBA this season to average 18 points, 11 rebounds.
Nice,
to go show you his value.
He's not a great defender, but we saw him at the Knicks for years. Right. He could score, he could rebound. No doubt about it.
Playing devil's advocate here. Can you imagine where the Knicks would be now if they had kept Lee and not signed Stoudemire? With the production David Lee's putting up?
I mean, you can always look back. Does Carmelo come here if it's David Lee and not Stoudemire?
I think he does because I think Melo wanted New York regardless.
You could do these hypotheticals all day. I mean,
right.
I understand the point. Right now, obviously, David Lee's a much better player than Stoudemire, especially factoring the contracts and everything else. But that's tough to.
But you don't think Melo wanted New York? Like, he wanted to come to New York?
But that first half of the season that Stoudemire played, he made them a legitimate team. He did.
He was an MVP candidate
for a while.
Yeah.
Does David Lee do that? Probably not. But obviously, is David Lee a better complimentary player without question?
Yeah, but the year before he averaged 20 and 10, so he was always a.
Yeah, but where'd they go? They didn't make any noise.
Yeah, but that's because no Melo there.
And they had no point guard either that year.
He's a second.
I think
6-foot banana with dreadlocks.
I think they had Chris Duhon running the show, and the guy's a goddamn joke.
Hey, he ran a great point in Duke.
Yeah, he actually played pretty well in D'Antoni.
Yeah.
And someone gave him a stupid what did he go to Orlando?
Lakers. He's back with D'Antoni.
Yeah, he's with the Lakers.
He's back with D'Antoni again.
Yeah. Last week I know we were talking about NBA players that aren't so cool. That you can tap them on the shoulder, they won't acknowledge it. You can go up to them, give them a handshake, and say that you're writing articles for their website. They'll acknowledge you. Duhon, I actually heard the Zones were playing beer pong one time at Off the Wagon, and Duhon was there, and they said he was a really cool guy, real approachable, and stuff like that.
Did they tap him from behind?
No, they might have went to the front.
Maybe you need to approach these people face to face, Walsh. Maybe that's your.
I did with Stoudemire. I was right there.
Team on Farrah.
Yeah, back door. Yeah.
Okay, so to the next. Just to close out the NBA playoffs.
Backdoor sports.
The Clippers might be in a little bit of trouble here last night as Griffin goes down with an injury, and Chris Paul's got a bad thumb right now. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that series now that looks like OKC's going to make it, and then if Memphis can take advantage of these two injuries with Paul and Griffin,
matchups then
it would be OKC against Memphis.
I tell you what,
Memphis. I gotta like Memphis in that series.
No Westbrook.
With Memphis, they have two big guys. No one has two big guys now. I mean, the Lakers kind of.
The Bulls do. But that's an Eastern Conference.
But they're different kind of players.
Right. The bangers.
Yeah. I mean, they're a very interesting matchup. Absolutely. You know what? Memphis would be a tough matchup for Miami.
Yeah.
With that size
and
size.
I can see that. That'd be
interesting.
It's going to, again, and Memphis took down San Antonio. What was that, last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah, so, they have the horses to get that done if San Antonio makes it as far. Real quick, get off NBA for a minute. I know you guys aren't big NHL guys, but the NHL playoffs are starting real quick. Want to have a little crossfire with Richie here, real quick.
Go Rangers!
We're just going to talk about
nobody likes hockey.
Who we got going on here in the finals.
Hey, you know what? The Rangers who came up and got the 6th seed. Very proud of them. A couple weeks ago, looked like they wouldn't even make it, and the trade deadline they got rid of Gabrick and. Yeah. Got those role players, and here we go.
Yeah, it worked out for the best. And, and I say this all the time, and, you don't even have to be a hockey fan to know this, but you can roll through the NHL playoffs with a hot goalie and make it. We've seen it many a times. L.A. won a cup on the strength of it last year with Jonathan Quick. So, what I like this year, I like Pittsburgh advancing.
Well, not me, and because of the hot goalie and Islander land there.
Did you see the score of the game right now?
No, what is it?
Oh, my God. It was like 5-0 in the second period.
Never mind.
But no, in the finals, I've got Boston going against Anaheim. I think, these two teams, I know it might be a little mainstream to say it, but Boston's got a little bit of strength behind them with the whole the bombings and that kind of stuff. I think the crowd's going to be really into it. They're always a tough team. They got a strong team top to bottom. I like them out of the East, and I like Anaheim. Chicago's been the team that everybody's been talking about out West this whole year. I think that could catch up with you to a point. And Anaheim's been right there. If it weren't for the fact of that huge Chicago winning streak. So I'm going to go with Anaheim. I'm going to go Anaheim winning the Stanley Cup Finals over Boston in 7 games.
7 games.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take the Blackhawks over the Bruins. I agree with you. Boston is just going to, I think, ride it out all the way through. But give me the Blackhawks. Catch fire again through the playoffs, just like they did in the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And
did the Blackhawks just win it?
You know what's interesting about the Blackhawks? They haven't won a playoff series since they've won the Stanley Cup. I know.
Down the first round last year.
Yeah.
Who's that guy on their team? Kane.
He's a beast.
Isn't one of them banging Aaron Andrews?
I don't know, but Aaron Andrews is really into hockey because she was with Brad Richards. Right? Yeah.
Hey, Coles, for the news, find out which guy in the hockey is banging Aaron Andrews.
I got to start ice skating.
Rose could teach you. And Rose is looking for a job, everybody.
Really?
How to bang Aaron Andrews?
All
right.
That's a different class.
No? Yeah.
All right, so you guys got any just out of the ass predict? How many games do you like that series?
Give me the Blackhawks in 6 over the Bruins because it always goes 6 or 7.
I actually have a hockey question.
Okay.
Is Luke Robitaille still on the Kings?
He is not.
Okay. That was the last time I watched.
And Chris Chelios actually retired also.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I like.
How about Radek Bonk?
Radek Bonk from the Ottawa Senators. That's a good name, Bob.
I got some Bonk in it.
You like the mullet, don't you?
I like his whole thing.
Barry Melrose.
His whole persona.
He looks like somebody that used to work at A&P a long time ago.
Who's that?
With the mullet. He was a manager. I forget his name. He was dating that really ugly girl. You know him.
Oh. Okay.
You know who he is,
Yeah,
right?
I do. Yeah. Okay.
Let's throw a name out there. You got
No, I'm not going to do that. It's cyberspace. But any dark horse predictions? Just take a look at the matchups.
No.
It could be interesting.
You think
Well, let me ask you this: why did the Rangers do so poorly this year? They were predicted to be a 1 seed, possibly be a strong.
No chemistry there.
Yeah,
and they can't score on the power play.
Yeah. Well, again, I said it a while when they got all these guys together. Nash, Gabrick, all that kind of stuff.
Go back to that mercenary.
Yeah.
There's only one puck to go around for this whole team. For these teams like this, and we've seen it a lot in sports lately. The Angels, the Dodgers last season. Exactly.
In the regular
the Eagles,
Once they dealt Gabrick there at the deadline, and they got these other guys in there, they caught fire. There was 7-3-1, and their last 11 going down.
And why was that? Did these new guys coming in essentially role players and fill the void? Did little things essentially.
They're just better sharing the puck.
They forecheck.
They got a lot of bang.
They got the boards.
They got a lot of bangers and pipe layers going on.
Yeah, you had the guys going out there that are willing to fight and
like
scrappy guys. And they gave the team a little more heart that they didn't have. They lost Pruss last year. He was the big guy. He's not a big guy at all. He goes out there though and he kicks some ass and he likes to fire into the team and that's what gets him going out there.
Last thing about the Rangers, actually, I watched all. I like playoff hockey. I watched the Rangers in the playoffs, and I watched them all last year. Lundqvist wasn't that good last year. Is he overrated? To me, he is. Is he that good? Because in the playoffs last year, he didn't seem that good.
What country is he from?
Sweden.
Well, he's it was tired. I mean, it was 48 games. He played 43 this year, and he got no rest down like the last 15 games.
He's from Sweden.
He's going to be dead in the playoffs again, and that's what's going to hurt them.
He's from Sweden.
Yeah.
Him and Matt Harvey.
I can't trust the guy that's from a country that can't fight their own war. I'm sorry.
Well,
a lot of good Swedish hockey players.
It's not his fault. But again, as it does every season, it's going to come down to who the hot goaltender is, and that's fine. All right, how about we hit a little quick video break, and then we'll come back with some NFL talk, and then we'll get out of here?
All right.
Sound good to everybody? All right, sounds good. All right, this next video is from Pressure. So this one's called
Under Pressure.
It's just pressure. It's just pressure.
Vanilla Ice ripped that off, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he did. He sure did.
And listen, Ice is back with the brand new edition.
Oh, go ahead, get him, Bobby.
Flow like a harpoon, jelly at night.
It is rap video.
Stop, yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow
Take us out.
to the extreme. I like a mic, like a vandal. Light up a stage and watch a chump like I can do.
Let's go. Oh, welcome back to the 14A Sports Radio Show.
Boner.
always chiming in as well. All right, so to close out the show, we're going to get back into the NFL draft a little bit. First roundtable question that I got for everybody: which rookie quarterback do we see likely to start here in 2013?
Wait, Gino. Hold on. Let me start the season or start the most games.
Just to start the first game, who do we think for the first rookie quarterback is going to be? All right, so we got options. We got Geno Smith, EJ, Barkley, or Glennon out of Tampa.
Also going to start.
But they'll probably start Cole to start the season. They obviously want Manuel to win a job though. They might. I don't think he's ready. Though,
well, the thing about Cobb is that they didn't give him starter money. Okay, they gave him, I think it's something like $3 or $4 million over 2 years. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
You got to think that Maroney knew that he was probably going to take a quarterback.
Right.
With the idea I could play Cobb, kind of like the Giants did with Kurt Warner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
5 games or so. Yeah.
5 or 6 games in, and then give the reins over. So I don't think EJ Manuel is going to start the season, but Gino probably has the best chance to start the season, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Gino's absolutely going to start over Sanchez. They're done with. I think maybe Garrard steals the spot though.
I mean, he's been out for 2 years. There's not much. I mean, when you're competing with Sanchez and David Garrard,
that's something when we were talking about the Jets draft. We really didn't get into. What are they going to do with Sanchez? I don't see any upside to cutting Sanchez.
He's a serviceable backup.
Any upside?
No, he's
like
not.
you just said, David Garrard David Garrard, he hasn't played in years. What if Gino's not that good and David Garrard gets hurt? Then what? You with McElroy and Sims. I think Sanchez actually he played in the West Coast at USC. Marty Morningway is going to give him the West Coast. The thing in the West Coast is it's not a lot of progression reads. It's coming out, boom, we're getting the ball right here. It's a lot of quick throws. Right. That's where Sanchez struggles the most is he can't read the defenses. He can't digest it.
And that's Gino's strength right there is throwing those short passes right there.
Okay, but all right, so then you put him in camp. If Gino beats him, fine. But I don't see there's any upside of Sanchez.
Well, yeah, you don't name him going in to let him battle it out, right?
I agree.
With that being said, though, in the West Coast offense, it's a lot of dink and dunk and stuff like that, and like you let the receivers make the plays after the catch. Who are any of these? Who are any of these quarterbacks throwing to?
I was just going to say that,
but that's not a reflection of the quarterback,
Right.
That's why Tavon.
Right, but if he's going to play in the West Coast,
he's got
nobody to throw to.
I agree.
I mean, this team needs a lot of help, and you know what I would. I would just start the season with Gino. You're not going to win anything anyway. Get this kid some experience. Let him take his lumps, and maybe next year you go out and you draft some
throwing
playmakers.
him right into the fire could ruin his confidence.
I don't have a problem with that. I want to make him win the job. Right? I want to make him win the job.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
If Garrard's like he hasn't played 2 years. Garrard probably has nothing left. Who knows what he has? At least Sanchez, he's shown he could be a pretty good NFL quarterback his first 2 years.
Okay, but is Garrard taking you to the Super Bowl?
God, no. He's not even taking you into the regular season.
The three of them combined aren't.
If none of these guys are taking you to the Super Bowl, what's the point of playing them over the rookie?
No, I don't. The rookie has to prove he's ready. That's my point. Right. He has to prove he's ready. He has to win the job.
But you don't think he should just play him, let him take his lumps?
I think you lean heavily towards him. You definitely want him to start the season, no doubt about it. But I'm not into just making him, all right, you're the starter from day one. Here's the keys.
Right. I mean, Andy Reid played Ty Detmer over Donovan McNabb. And, was he taking you to the Super Bowl?
Well, to close out this topic, here's my thing. I think Mark Sanchez isn't going to get you any value, okay? You might as well play it out with Sanchez and maybe go for the high draft pick, so to speak, this year, right? If you play Geno Smith, some weaknesses could be developed. That's still an interesting trade piece for next season, all right? Yeah, that's probably not what you want to do, but you're right. If there's another coach coming in next year, might not want Geno Smith. That could be an interesting trade piece to have for a draft pick. They could.
They're not going to get back the value of what they just spent on him a year before.
They're going to go get a coach that'll use Geno.
It's not going anywhere next year. He's not going to trade Geno for a fourth when he just spent the year before he took him for a second. Not happening.
Right.
The Jets are obviously more what ownership wants than what the coaching wants.
Might be another quarterback. I'm just saying, you got to see how the season plays out.
I think Geno's going to be a decent NFL quarterback. I think they got great value for him in the second round.
The only problem I have with the pick is I'm going on the premise that Rex is gone. I'd rather have my new coach pick the quarterback. That was my only beef with the pick.
So let's talk hypothetical here. If for the Jets, where are the Jets finishing this year? 4-12, 5-11.
Worst 5 teams. They'll be the one of the worst 5 teams.
Wait, so now, okay.
Let's bring up their schedule.
Do you take a quarterback with those top 5 picks?
You got to the first pick. It's probably going to be Clowney, right? He seems like he's a once in a generational
pass rusher,
right?
He's a manimal.
It seems like he could be a Lawrence Taylor type impact player.
Now because I have a thing. I like Johnny Manziel a lot. Where do you? You guys know a little bit more about football than I do.
Johnny Manziel right now is not. You know what? First of all, he could actually go back to school another year if he's.
I wouldn't though. I wouldn't.
He doesn't have to come out, but A&M lost a lot of talent. They still have a big tackle on their team, but A&M lost a lot of talent,
especially on the front line too.
Do you see him being a RG3 type of quarterback?
Yeah,
I don't think he has as good an arm as RG3.
But he runs a 4.4 though. He's fast.
He is fast. Really good.
I don't think he has the same kind of arm. And he did it in the SEC, so you can't say he did it against mediocre competition.
Right.
He's going to be. I think Teddy Bridgewater is more your prototypical 6'4" drop back NFL quarterback.
Is he the kid from Louisville, right?
And then you got Taj Boyd from Clemson. who actually played better last year than 2 years ago than he did last
Yeah,
year.
I actually remember seeing Bridgewater play against, I think, Rutgers it was.
Yeah,
he was pretty impressive.
Well, I was at that game against Rutgers. The winner of that wins the Big East.
Wasn't that the game he had the broken arm?
He had a broken ankle.
Yeah,
he didn't start the first half of the season.
But he came in and played.
The first half.
Yeah.
It was terrible. The Rutgers quarterback, Nova, played the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my life. But Teddy Bridgewater came in and actually beat Logan Ryan on a corner pattern and won the game for Louisville.
Well, with a name like Nova, you don't have a future in the NFL. Sorry, Nova Rodriguez or.
But no, to go back to Manziel real quick, it's going to be interesting. And again, we have to see what happens. What plays out over the course of the season. But obviously he's got the talent. He won the Heisman as a freshman. Obviously, it's a great honor to have that happen. But again, I think it's a very rich quarterback draft coming out next year, so he might benefit from going back another year. But I just think that losing 2 linemen like he lost this season, and then he's gonna probably lose another one next year with Matthew. It's Gary Matthews' son.
They have he's going to be he's going to replace Joe.
Yeah, he's going to be a top 10 pick next year without a doubt.
You got to go when you can go because look at Barkley, right? He could have went last year top 5.
Barkley could have been a top 10 pick,
right? And now look at him.
And you remember?
And he probably would have went to Miami.
Do you remember?
The same thing happened with Leinart a few years back.
I was just going to mention him. Leinart was the number 1 pick.
And that's when the first pick was getting like $50 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
so
before they had that old.
He really lost a lot. You got to go when I hate to say leave school, but go get that money, man.
No, go leave school.
You can go back and get your degree.
The hell with school.
The point of school is to go get a job. If you're going to get a job that's going to pay you $1,000, go there.
Yeah.
Right. You can go back and get your degree. Even Shaq did.
Who cares if you fail or not?
Retard, so.
Well, I don't think LSU is the pinnacle of higher learning.
Shaq's going to be.
What do you mean, boy?
Yeah. Shaq's going to come looking for me now. Hey, heard you say some bad things about me on the radio.
Before we go to the next question, just something that we wanted to bring up. We're talking about the Jets, how we think how they're gonna do next season. They have to face the NFC South next season, which is no easy task.
You love looking at it.
I do. I mean, but look, all right. But look at the teams.
It's
okay?
May 1st.
Are they going to beat Tampa?
Yes.
Maybe.
No. Are they going to beat Atlanta?
You can't do that. We don't know. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
It's a week.
All right, but look at last year. Look at last year.
You don't know what's going to happen. Matt Ryan could go down in the preseason.
What if Matt Ryan gets AIDS?
It is May.
Okay, all right.
Can
what
we get
I'm
away
saying
from damn October?
But what I'm
games?
saying is the question was, how do we think the Jets are going to do next year?
It doesn't matter. They have no talent. It doesn't matter who they play.
You know what? I'm a Giants fan.
They're not going to do good.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say 8-8.
The Jets?
Yeah.
Boy, I can't wait till the NFL over-unders come out.
That would surprise me.
That's going to be the most exciting day of the year.
I might do my baseball over-unders. Yankees 81.5 up. I'm looking pretty good on that right now.
Doing good, Bob. My under Toronto's actually looking very good.
Yeah.
Philly over, not so much.
Yeah, the Mets are looking strong.
My Minnesota under at 66 is looking genius as well.
I didn't even get a chance because we only went with 2 that time, but I was going to go with Kansas City as an over. They're in first place right now. But again, it's only a month in. It's only a month in.
Great pitching staff.
You can't look at in baseball. Wait till Memorial Day.
Absolutely.
Not till Memorial Day.
I know, but
Molly brought up a great point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but remember how we said this too. We're talking about opening day, and I think the season started on a Monday, and that Wednesday we did the show, and we're talking about, oh my God, the Yanks, they're in this situation, and we're like, it's only 3 days, but still, you're excited to see what happens.
Opening day's fun. I get a tingle in my testicles every opening day. So.
At least you didn't burn the layer off. Don't borrow the soap from Kohl's, by the way.
Who buys soap from the dollar store?
Oh, man.
Walsh.
I don't buy it on a regular basis.
You know, one time when I was 18, I sprayed Axe on my balls because I was hooking up with this chick, and my body. No, because listen, I'm going somewhere with this.
This is the second hour of the show.
And my balls and my penis burned for about 3 weeks from the Axe.
That was the girl.
The Axe. That was the Asian.
Well, that's what happens when you hook up with a girl from Rutgers. So
a lot of zingers.
That's my alma mater.
I know. I love those trucks.
Yeah, and when I went to visit him, I met many fine ladies down there that were classy.
I can tell you some stories, but I'm probably not going to do it on the radio.
That's just silly.
You know, I really think with that comment, if a female friend of mine is watching right now, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble come tomorrow. So.
That's all right.
She's not watching.
She's not. Nobody cares.
Yeah, she doesn't love you anyway.
I know.
All right.
Oh.
All right, so let's get back to. I try to just play that off and run with it. Back to the NFL draft real quick. Who do we feel is probably the best value pick or the best steal of this whole draft?
I don't know. Steal, I'm not going to comment on steal. I'll tell you, biggest impact, it's going to be one of the guards. It's going to be Cooper or it's going to be Chance Warmack. Running behind, I love Warmack. I think he's going to be the best player in the draft.
Now, we're talking about this next coming year?
Yes.
All right. Rich,
I think he's going to have a huge impact. They weren't happy with how they ran the ball, and he's going to be a huge addition.
Okay.
Well, I know you. The biggest impact, but I like. Let's talk about the landing spot for Manti Te'o. I think San Diego was a great place for him to fall.
I banged his girlfriend.
A very good spot.
Haven't we all?
I think it was a very good spot for him to fall to, and not fall to, go to, and
Good fit.
Yeah, they got a huge Polynesian community out there in San Diego that'll probably help him.
He'll be comfortable there, and
you know how he plays, and I know you watched Notre Dame, but he needs a defense. That's why he was so bad against Alabama, because his defensive line got blown off the ball. He can't play against guards because he's not that big and he's not that strong. He's an instinctual player that needs to attack the football.
Yeah.
But he needs to run around guards. He can't take that on.
Yeah,
but San Diego has the D line to permit him to play in space. And be that kind of instinctual football player. I completely agree.
Yeah, it's a very good fit there. And like you said, Walsh, with the Polynesian, it's going to be an easier adaptation for him. Yeah.
Well, not only that, I mean,
hopefully this guy won't kill himself.
and then
hopefully,
and then you got the laid back media atmosphere out there in California too.
Nobody cares about it. I love it out there. No one cares about anything.
And I also love
on the beach with a styrofoam cooler.
I also love Mully's boy Kasim Green going to the Bears. Linebacker world over there.
Yeah. And we mentioned it earlier, but how about the two running backs going to Green Bay and Franklin?
Yeah, right.
I think that's a huge addition for the Green Bay team.
Yeah, great job by Packer Nation there.
That makes them scary. Excellent picks.
Oates is loving it.
And Ted Thompson, he traded that second round. He traded down 10 picks. And Lacey was still on the board, so he got some more value later on, and his guy was still there to take him.
Look at him talking to Oates like she knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, I was looking at you, but I'm telling you.
She's like, I just want to see Aaron Rodgers in some tight pants again. Actually, Oates is a part owner of the Packers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Man, she gets stocks, bonds, all that kind of shit.
No shit.
Anyway.
You know who I like in the draft?
What's her favorite saying?
We'll get to that later.
Why I like in the draft, big sleeper. Me and Mulhern talked about this guy over the break. Is Cooper Taylor, the safety from the Giants, who was at Georgia Tech
Richmond.
Went to Richmond, transferred. Big dude. He's like 6'5", 230.
Yeah.
Runs fast, got a good vertical, and he's got a knack for getting to the ball. And that NASCAR defense, the Giants run with when they got the three safeties in there.
Right. They played a 4D lineman, and they played a big nickel with.
Yeah.
It's a position that Deion Grant played during the Super Bowl.
I think this guy is going to make an impact right away. If not on defense this year, he's going to be a spot-on special teams player.
Right.
I think that was a great pick in the what did they take him in the fifth round?
Yeah, they took Nassib, him, and then they traded the sixth.
Yeah, I mean, that was it looks like like you said before, you don't know 2-3 years down the road. But on paper right now, this looks like another good draft for Jerry Reese.
Yeah, he's done a very good job.
All right, I got two guys. I want to talk about here. They're running backs, the forgotten position about in the league.
It really has been.
Yeah, I know. So, second round, the Steelers take with. This is the 16th pick. Le'Veon Bell. This is a guy who's going to be able to step in right away for the Steelers. Take that starting spot. They've kind of had a carousel of running backs at that spot right there.
Mendenhall's been banked up.
And then
since the bus, Willie Parker.
Mendenhall.
For some reason they're not able to stay. Maybe it's that hard grass out there in Pittsburgh in the wintertime, and Roethlisberger hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Hasn't been that good in recent years. They lost to Castro. He got hurt.
Right.
So he should come back strong.
But I wanted to go one more pick. I was a little shocked that the Steelers didn't take this guy, but the Broncos went ahead and took him. Monte Ball. All right,
yeah.
This guy, he's had a lot of beat in the last couple of years. He's taken a lot of carries in high school, and he's had a lot of carries in college. But with a wide open offense for the Broncos this year, with the receivers they got, Demaryius Thomas, Welker, and Decker. This field's going to be wide open for
and
Ball to run around.
And he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Definitely.
In that offense, I think he'll flourish there, like any offensive player should.
I'm not saying he's not gonna, but in evaluating and looking at running backs, the University of Wisconsin had a bigger offensive line than the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
their offensive line is tremendous. They're very well coached. They're big kids,
big country boys.
And so a lot of people could run through the holes that Monty Ball did. I'm not saying that Monty Ball can't play, but he put up some prodigious college stats. And, it's kind of an aberration in a sense because that offensive line is that good, that dominant. I think I agree with you guys in that offense. He's the best back on a roster right now, right? McGahee might not even come back.
Yeah,
but he
McGahee,
can catch the
Moreno,
ball.
yeah.
He could block. He's going to be able to block. So he's a nice fit. But you got to be careful with that Wisconsin. That line is so good.
Well, again, I feel, too, Denver's going to have a lot of wide open field. They're going to spread these receivers out, a couple draw plays here and there. They're going to be a fun Madden team to use this year. We'll just say that. And Bob, yeah, you wish. Bobby's got one more pick that he wants to get to.
Now, I have
in the microphone.
Maybe a trivia. Sorry, I was a little up there.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if this one guy is still on the roster. Brian Leonard, is he?
No, he's in Tampa now.
Is he in Tampa?
He's in Tampa, yeah.
I'm shocked.
Rutgers
he's in Tampa. I'm shocked. You know what? I didn't even know.
Hey, you know what though? Yeah. Shiano maybe can find a way to use him.
Yeah, definitely.
Cincinnati took Rex Buckard from Nebraska in I think in the 6th round or something like that.
Buckard. It's another good
Buckard,
name.
Now
Burkhead.
This might be the 5th year in a row Cincinnati's had a white running back on the roster. I think that's got to be a record.
Peyton Hillis, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was my hero until he, fell off the face of the earth.
Flash in the pan.
It's all right.
Hey, he had some bad luck.
All right.
Yeah, it's called a Madden cover.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, so we're winding down the show right now, but there's a big event going on this Saturday. It's called the Kentucky Derby. We got a couple horses.
We don't necessarily know anything about it.
No, Rich.
I like looking at all the girls in the sundresses and big hats.
Oh, yeah, Rich, take us out here. What do we got going on with the Derby this weekend?
Well, like usually you got 20 horses in the field, right? Top 5 horses to start the week, at least. These numbers change all the time. You got Orb 4-1, Verrazano 9-2, Revolutionary 8-1, Golden Sense, Rick Pitino, part owner of this horse, 8-1, Normandy Invasion 10-1.
So there's no heavy favorite going into this one.
No, yeah, and Orb and Verrazano, your 2 big favorites. They both today they drew the
they drew.
Orb went to 7-2 recently.
And he drew 16 though. So being all the way out there, it's hard to get to the rail. And
let me ask you, do you want to be on the rail?
They want you to be able. You want to be able to get to the inside quicker than opposed to getting stuck out there and tangled up in all that traffic.
Yeah, but isn't somebody thinking if you're that far outside, you don't get jammed up in all the traffic inside?
It's hard to get. They just say you don't want to be out there. You don't win from 16 and beyond.
We tried to have a horse on the show today, but they couldn't make it down here.
We tried to save one from the Elmer's factory. It just didn't happen.
Oh, I go to Monmouth Racetrack with a pack cooler and
absolutely.
Just pick numbers.
There's guys. You got Calvin Burrell riding Revolutionary.
I know Joey Bravo. That's it.
And Johnny Velasquez is jockeying too. Those are the only 2 guys I really know.
Yeah, those aren't bad picks there. I know our special horse racing correspondent Gordon McCabe couldn't be here today. He really likes Verrazano. He's usually right with his picks. So out there in cyberspace, if you're listening,
I'll give you my trifecta. That I'm going to go one of them, but my main one.
I always pick my birthday with the horses numbers for the trifecta.
Yeah.
How's that for a strategy?
Nobody gives a shit, Alice.
I go 3, 8, 12. Revolutionary, Golden Sense, and It's My Lucky Day. It's
Wait, did you say Golden Sense or Golden Shower?
Golden Sense.
Oh, okay.
Now you're just getting silly.
Yeah.
It's horse racing.
All right,
I gotta make it exciting.
I'm sorry, Rich. Was that trifecta?
No, you know what you gotta do? Just go watch it with a bunch of your friends. Put numbers in a cup. Pull a number out.
No.
Everybody, $10 in.
Right.
We're gonna take some $200.
Piss on
At
the
least
floor,
pretend
steal a
like you know
popcorn.
what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
I like 3, 8, 12 Revolutionary Golden Cents, and it's my lucky day. But if this Palace Malice, the 25 to 1 one, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know why. I'm just thinking it.
I'm definitely going to the OTB winners right here in Bay.
Wait, when is this going off?
I'll be there.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
The first Saturday
you know what?
every May.
No, wait, I won't be in Atlantic City. Wait, Saturday what time?
It's like
Saturday.
4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll be in Atlantic City. Fuck it. Maybe I'll bet.
Stay out of Atlantic City.
If Dallas is in town, no good. All right, we got to get out of here for the night. We want to thank Bobby Balis for coming in studio once again. It was a great time.
Thank you.
The one-line king, Richie K, always got the good stuff.
It was fun. It was fun.
Thank you for that horse.
Bobby, thank you.
Thank you for that horse expertise.
Break it down to horses.
Hey,
Oh,
man.
Come on, Kryptonite.
I can't do it on air. Damn it.
I can.
And Irish Vern, as always, providing the good stuff. That's, no sign-off for the people?
No, that's good.
All right, fantastic. All right, we thank all you guys for watching out there. We love to thank the studio live audiences.
Packed house tonight.
Oach and Barisi always in the building, and Coles with the news. Coles, you were already on air. You don't get a shout
Packed
out again.
tonight.
But now you do. All right.
We could barely recognize you out in the studio without the chalice, though. You're
Hey-o.
like unrecognizable.
This was great. We asked for Coles to have friends, and then friends appeared.
Yeah.
So now we got to ask the world, Rose needs a job, and jobs appear.
And philanthropy.
We need philanthropy.
Philanthropy.
Philanthropize.
All right, well,
Actually, real quick, if anyone that's watching wants a 14A sports shirt, let us know. We can get you one.
I want a goddamn shirt.
well, we're going to get you one, Bobby.
Don't use my Lord's name in vain.
But can you
God damn
can you
it.
make it tight and cut the sleeves off so I can work it out? Yeah.
No, but you can.
It'll go with your glasses.
All right, so on behalf of the
Put
rest
those
of the
spitballs on.
14A team, we want to thank you guys for watching tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.
Hoo-yah!
15 Minutes of Fame Radio. Sitting.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.